Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. Hey, we're back at it with Lucky 7 aged 15 years. But before we dive into this, real quick, huge shout out to my newest patrons, my good friend Chad M, Blake P, and Dane O. So Chad, Blake, and Dane, thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate all the love and support, gentlemen. As well as I would not be a good judge if I didn't say thank you for all my patrons, honestly, who support the judge. I love all the camaraderie. We have a blast between different contests. We go back and forth on Discord, meetups. I mean, you name it. It's honestly just the judge community is a good place to be. So much love and respect to Chad, Blake, and Dane, as well as all my patrons. All right. So 2022, my number one whiskey was Lucky 7, aged 14 years, the Proprietor. Let's take a look back and see the reason why. So number one is also a $140 bottle. I have had other expressions of their whiskey before, and they've always been either good. There was another one that's actually great. But when I had this bottle, age 14 years, I did I literally jumped up, clapped, and I turned around. I was just shocked how great this whiskey is. Even better than the Parker's, at least for me and me personally. This is the best bottle I have had all year. Now I will say harder to find, but I've seen it actually online. I think even at Stillbox once, and I've definitely seen it out in the wild in New Jersey, in Delaware, in Maryland as well. Flat out amazing. Cask strength, coming in age 14 years from Lucky 7, the Proprietor. Yes, I said it. This bad boy right here, the Proprietor, age 14 years, a single barrel. So they're taking source whiskey. I believe they're sourcing it from what everyone knows from Bart in 1792. Age 14 years. So it's basically like a Calumet but cask strength. And when I tell you this bottle is special, it's everything Calumet is times 10. All right, so that was my number one whiskey for 2022. Fast forward to this year, beginning of the year happens. One of my patrons reaches out to me, my buddy John Daly, not the golfer. I wish, but I'm equally happy with my buddy John Daly, my patron as well. John Daly reaches out to me and he goes, "Hey Judge, Lucky 7 Proprietor, they just put out a 15-year. You need to go to this certain store and grab it." So, I first start looking around me, and I will say, unfortunately, because this was my number one whiskey, it was also on the top 10 list of a lot of other whiskey tubers as well. It's definitely grown from a popularity standpoint, so definitely a little bit harder to find this day and age. But John put me onto a store that had it, so thank you again, John. I grabbed it. Let me go ahead and pour it real quick. And so the question is it equally as good as last year, better, or worse? We shall see. So let me go ahead and pour this. All right. So when you think of Lucky 7, again, a couple of things come to mind. Number one, it is sourced whiskey. Primarily the company, the founders, they're sourcing whiskey primarily from what everyone knows from Bart in 1792. But I'll say kind of my journey with Lucky 7 is, I started off with a double oak. That was the first product that I had from them. And I thought it was really, really good. Then I moved to the Frenchman, and I thought that was great. Now we have this, the Proprietor, the 14-year, it was flat out amazing. Cask strength Barton whiskey. At that point, age 14 years, now age 15 years. We shall see if it's still equally as good. I don't know. We'll see. All right, a couple other things. So the Proprietor. So when I think about this one, so age 15 years, again, cask strength. My bottle, in particular, the single barrel, is coming in at 130.9 proof. So 130.9 proof. Now, the one thing with the whiskey, unfortunately, from a price standpoint, is definitely up there. Last year, it was $150. This year, when I found it, I think it was like $190 plus tax. Essentially, it was like a $200 bottle. So, it's expensive, but it is age 15 years. It is cask strength, coming from, obviously a source Kentucky distillery that is, very much equal kind of playing ground to like all those other upper end bottles coming from Buffalo Trace or coming from Heaven Hill. So even though it is a little bit more expensive, it's not that much out of the realm of what you will get from other, big brands coming from Kentucky distilleries. So we shall see. I don't know. Like everything else I have, I always pour just a little bit in my infinity bottle. Let's see what we have here. All right. Real quick, let's get into the nose. Hold on, hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my goodness. Folks. Stop it. Stop it. What is the saying? Is the saying, you had me at hello? I mean, seriously. Can it really be? Oh my goodness. The depth and the character on this nose is so enticing. Oh my goodness. A couple of things stand out. Number one, it has almost like a chocolate covered banana note. Like a chocolate covered banana meets caramel, meets a little bit of like pepper. And in the background, you get like some like dried cherry kind of notes. Oh my gosh. The oak is definitely present as well. It is, of course, aged 15 years. So the oak is present. But it seems like everything is just like there, kind of like lingering around, blending equally. But nothing is overpowering each other. The chocolate covered bananas is there. The cherry note, like the dried cherry notes is there. The oak. Oh my gosh, the caramel. Woo! From a nose standpoint, this might be even a tad bit better than the 14 year. Just from the nose. All right, before I get into the palate and the finish, super quick. 3 quick easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. What are your thoughts on Lucky 7 products as a whole? Either, any of the other ones, the Double Oak, the Frenchman, particular, in this case, if you try the Proprietor, let me know what are your thoughts on the Proprietor. And last but not least, please go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Cool? All right. Lucky 7, age 15 years, cask strength, essentially a $200 bottle this day and age. Definitely harder to find, but with some work, you definitely can find it. Oh my gosh. I've nosed this long enough. Here we go. Cheers, everybody. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Hold on. Let me get a little bit more. Let me get a smidge more before I get into the palate and the finish. Oh my gosh. Oh man. 2 things. Number 1, there's one thing I missed in the nose that came in the palate and the finish. There's almost like a bit of like some raisin notes in the palate and the finish. I missed it in the nose, but it's definitely there in the palate and the finish. But number 2, everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything from the nose transferred to the palate. The caramel, like a chocolate covered kind of a banana note, like the dried cherry note in the background, the oak, everything from the nose transfers to the palate. And for being 130.9 proof, it's a long, solid finish, but it's still not kind of a knock you down. It's long, it's solid, it's bold, it's vibrant. You might ask, Judge, is this a buy, leave it on the shelf, or maybe even not worth hunting? I'm going to give you the response here. Here is the verdict. Did I dare? Folks, this is 4 gavel good. We've crossed into a new lane, a new category. This is, I would say, one of the best bottles of whiskey I've had flat out in my life. This is by far in the number 1 ranking for 2023. Now, I will say, we are early in the year, right? There is still plenty of time left in 2023, so we shall see. You never know. But at age 15 years, coming from more than likely Barton 1792, this whiskey, oh my gosh, this is not good. This is not great. This is flat out amazing. Flat out amazing. See that little bit left in there? There's no way I'm leaving it in the glass. Cheers as always, my friends. Take care. Much love and respect.